What's going
What's up?
on,
What's up?
man? How are you?
Chilling out. Can't complain.
Right
Yeah, yeah.
on. I like your sweatshirt, Zach.
Oh, thanks, man. I love Backstreet Boys.
That's
Antonio doesn't, but I do.
Hey, man.
I
Hey,
love
I
that
don't got nothing.
it's like
I got nothing
green
against him.
slime.
Yeah, it glows in the dark too. It's super dope.
Does it really? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
bro.
Very, very cool. Yeah, like I said, so our podcast is about your guys' journey in music and how you got to where you are now. So tell me about, did you guys both grow up around the same area? Did you know each other growing up? When did you guys meet?
I still don't know this guy. He lives.
Basically,
He grew up in Sparta, Illinois. I think. Is that where you grew up,
yeah,
Zach?
yeah. I'm about like an hour and a half away from the rest of the band, so
Okay. So
yeah,
Sparta, Illinois is where you grew up? Is that what you said?
yeah. And I still live here too, and they live in St. Louis, Missouri, so it's like an hour and 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about growing up there.
In Sparta, I mean, well, our yeah, yeah, a lot of banjos. There's like 3,000 people in our town, so I mean, like, it's pretty bare, I guess you could say. It's surrounded by corn.
Okay.
So to find Discrepancies was definitely a very different, to put it in short. So yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I had met them because I like played in like some bands around here, but then we eventually graduated up to like playing in St. Louis, and then I filled in for some friends' bands from St. Louis and whatnot. And then I guess I had been friends with our bassist Garrett on Facebook for a while, and he had their drummer at the time had needed to fill in, so Garrett asked me to, and I was all about it, and so the rest is history.
Right on.
Yeah.
And Tony, you grew up in St. Louis?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I've pretty much lived all around St. Louis, but yeah, born and raised.
Very cool. How did you get into music originally?
Me, I just I was before the band. I was strictly a hip hop and R&B guy.
Okay.
So like, but I like my uncles used to rap and stuff back in the day, and they were really into it. And it kind of like I always looked up to them, and they took me to the studio with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I don't know, it just kind of drew me in, and I started writing pretty early. And
how old were you when you started? Yeah, first started writing and stuff.
Oh my gosh, I was probably like, I had to be like 6 or 7 or something like that. But then I like stopped for a long time. I kind of got into like drawing and art for a while, but then kind of got back into it during high school of writing.
Okay. And Zach, what about you? Were you always a drummer? Was that the first instrument you learned?
Yeah, I well, like when I was a kid, actually, I used to watch like Backstreet Boys, like VHS tapes. I promise I'm not like an obsessed like Backstreet Boys fan, but I am a big fan.
But you are like
So
a
that's
legit
like
fan. You're not wearing that as
sure.
like as like
Oh no. I met them last year. Like I'm
Did
like
you really?
all about, yeah, I did. I'm like
That's
all
pretty
about
dope.
it. Yeah, I had like all their VHSs when I was a kid, and I had like this little like toy drum set, and I kind of got started on that, but obviously like nothing crazy. And then I had a cousin who played guitar like in my teenage years, and he had gotten me just like to try sitting down on the drums and played along with him. And from there, I just kind of like decided I wanted to learn. And my parents got me a drum set when I was like 13 or something. And yeah, I just kind of built off that and taught myself how to play, and here I am.
Wow. Okay. What was the first band you joined? Obviously, you were talking about filling in, and that's how you kind of met the other guys in Discrepancies. But what was the first band you were in?
I was in a band called The Promise to Burn for a while. We're like a metalcore band, kind of like similar like old Asking Alexandria type stuff. And then from there, I went on to be in a band called The Paramedic from Dayton, Ohio. And then
went to
a band.
How'd you get in that band? Did you like move to Dayton?
They were real, like at the time when I was like 17, 18, they were one of my favorite bands. And I had booked them at like a Legion Hall, like 10 minutes from my house. And like, cause they needed a tour stop in the area and they couldn't get anything in St. Louis. And I just became really good friends with them through there. And then their guitarist called me like a few weeks later after we had booked him, and he said, hey, our drummer just broke his arm. Do you want to do a tour with us? And then like that was pretty much it.
Wow, that's crazy.
I went to my principal in high school and told him the opportunity. He's like, oh, well, you got to do it. And I was like, yeah. So he's like, all right, well, we'll get it excused. Just go.
Wow.
Like,
So
you
were in high school when you did your first tour.
Yeah, I had literally just turned 18. Like I was like maybe 2 months into being 18. So
how long was the tour?
It was only 2 weeks. It wasn't anything like too strenuous, but it was during like a insane snowstorm. And so we got like trapped in Washington, D.C., and all of our shows kept getting canceled and we weren't getting notified. So we drive through storms all the way to get there just to find out it was canceled.
Oh my God.
It was a total like crazy, not good thing, but it was a cool first like on the road experience. So
sure,
cool.
Sure.
For sure.
Antonio, what about you? Did you play in bands or perform in any groups or anything prior to this band?
Yeah, I had like a rap group called Cypher, and it had Dub Flow on there, who's on 2 of our albums actually. It was me, Dub Flow, and another guy named Smiley Boy. There was just kind of like a trio thing. We just started doing shows together, and I mean, every once in a while we'll pop out and do a show, but
that's
next
cool.
weekend.
Yeah. Well, actually, Dub Flow's in another band. He's in a band now with like, it's like 2 rappers and a drummer, but they're called Egan's Rats.
Okay.
So yeah, everybody's still making music, but I just did hip hop shows before we joined the band.
Was it much different? I'm sure performing the hip hop shows versus the ones with Discrepancies.
Oh, for sure. It's just like different vibe, but I mean,
yeah,
kind of the same thing, but different vibes.
Definitely. And then how did you get linked up with the band, and how'd the band form? It sounds like, Zach, you joined later, or
okay. I joined 4 years after they got together. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about how the record, or how the band started.
So pretty much it was Addison and Garrett were in a band together, and I think they lost a couple members, and so they were just still kind of making music together. But they needed like, a vocalist and a drummer and everything. So, and I worked with Garrett, and I tricked him into buying one of my mixtapes. Like, if you know Garrett, you know that he's like cheap, so he don't spend money on nothing.
But he bought your mixtape.
Yeah. I told him I told him to watch it. I was like, here, check out this YouTube video. If you like it, then you buy a mixtape. If you don't like it, no sweat. I mean, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And he liked it, so he bought it. And then like within the next couple of days, he came up to me and he was like, have you ever thought about possibly joining a band and doing like a rap rock thing? And I was like, I've honestly no, but I'm down to try it out, So we met up in Garrett's basement, me, Addison, and Garrett for the first time, and they showed me a song, and I was like, yeah, this sounds good. And I took it home and recorded, like wrote and recorded, and then sent it back. And we were like, yeah, I think we got something. Like, this song was Get Hype.
Wow.
Like, still probably one of our most popular songs.
And that was the very first song you guys wrote together.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, how amazing! That's incredible. And so you wrote that song, and then did you? Obviously, you wrote some more songs. Then how did the band start going from there?
Yeah, like so like original when we did that, like it was all like on cell phones and like recorded really terribly. But then we just wrote we wrote 4 more songs to go with it and put it on the EP. And went in the studio, recorded, and made our first like self-titled EP. And,
was that pretty exciting, going in the studio with the band and everything?
It was pretty cool. It was like it wasn't my first time recording, but it was cool to see like the different process and how much longer it takes to record a band versus how long it takes to just as a rapper.
Sure.
You just kind of go in and rap for like an hour, and then you got like an album. but like no, like you gotta book like weeks of studio time to get
Right.
everything on the drums and guitar and bass and yeah.
That's funny. So from that first EP, did you guys tour like, you know, independently? Like what kind of drew the attention of InVogue Records and putting out that
Oh
first
yeah.
album?
Yeah, we toured independently. We did like we toured with another band called The Few,
Mhm.
and they're kind of like what would you say, Zach? Like punk,
Kind of like
like
like a punk, like they're kind of like an old school punk with like a very light touch of like newer punk, I think. So
Okay.
yeah,
they're pretty well rounded.
yeah. We're kind of different, like pretty different bands, but we still like I love those dudes. They're like the nicest dudes ever.
Mhm.
And but like we got together with them and we just kind of booked our own little tour together all up and down the East Coast. Like we were gone for like 2 months, maybe two and a half months or
Wow.
something crazy. I remember it was like a long time, and we just in our vans just booking shows as we went.
Mhm.
It was like brutal at times. Like, but I mean, I think that like showed who was like in it. You know what I mean? And like
Sure. Yeah,
you
who's
know
willing to
who's
sacrifice
willing
and
to sacrifice and go through all that. And so like I feel like after that, now when we do shows and like small like tours or whatever, it's pretty much a breeze compared to that first one.
yeah, yeah. Zach, when did you join with them? Like, were you on the Awakening record, or did you join
I
with them
was
after?
I joined about a year after The Awakening was released.
Okay.
The other drummer, Steve, and he ended up quitting. He just had his mind changed about like band stuff, which happens, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had been filling in for them, and just clicked really well. And then literally, I remember Garrett called me and said, "Hey, Steve just quit. Do you want to join?" And I said yes. And he said, "Okay, well, we just agreed to do a cover of Let It Go from Frozen, so we got to do that." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so
I
literally,
love
like,
how he told you after you agreed already.
yeah, right,
No,
That's
you
yeah.
already
funny.
said yeah. So we're doing
Like
this.
maybe like a month of being in the band. That was the first thing I recorded with him, and then like just a couple short months later, we went in to record like the album The Rise, which comes out this Friday. So
Wow, very cool.
yep.
Why? Tell me about the Let It Go cover. I'm curious. What was that? Was that for something? A comp or
uh,
something?
yeah, the label had basically said, "Hey, we're doing a Christmas thing. You guys want to be a part of it?" And we are like, "Sure, yeah, why not?" And we got it done, and we're like, "Hey, what's going on with this?" And they're like, "Oh, we're not really sure yet or whatever." And then something happened and it ended up getting dropped, so we just had this cover that
Okay.
just released. So now I don't know, we have it. And I guess like we didn't really know how people would feel about it, but actually a lot of people really like it to this day. So like I think that it ended up being like a good thing for us regardless, but we didn't really know how we felt about it at first.
That's funny.
Right.
But
And that's your first contribution to the recording of
yep,
Discrepancies.
exactly.
How funny. Antonio, I want to ask you real quick about that record, the Awakening, and how were you guys approached by InVogue Records, and how did that happen?
I believe so. Like one of the people that worked there, Priscilla, who's super awesome, she discovered our music on like a playlist. I want to say on Spotify,
Okay.
and like that's how like they found out about us. And like she took it to the label owner and everything, Nick, and he had him listen to it, and then he liked it. So we ended up, sitting down, like going out there and meeting up with them and sitting down and kind of just having a conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seemed like a no-brainer because I mean, immediately it felt more like just like a group of people, like a partnership. It felt like we were adding people to the band, not
Mm-hmm.
like not adding like a boss or something. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
just extra hands and people like with a common goal.
Mm-hmm.
And like the owner is like he's in a band himself, and used to be in a band. I don't think they're like still doing music, but you know what I mean? Like he gets it. You know
He
what I'm saying?
gets it.
And it
Right.
just
Exactly.
right from like that like let me know. Like there's so many labels out there and stuff of like just ran by people who have no idea what it's like to be in a band or anything like that. You know what I mean? And they just they think they know like what should be done and this, that, and the other, and they just really just whatever. But yeah. So I mean that's pretty much how we ended up on InVogue.
Wow. And
Yeah.
when you signed that deal, was The Awakening already written and recorded, or
Yeah.
or did you? Oh, okay, so they kind of adopted that album and put it out for you.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. Was it different writing this new album and being on the label like this time around? Like, you know, they're not adopting something; they're kind of helping fund it, I would assume, right?
Right. I wouldn't. I wouldn't say it was too. The only difference, what I would say, is like the amount of time it took us to get it done and stuff. Like when we did The Awakening, we like blocked out like a month of studio time, and we just kind of went in and knocked it out. But with this one, our producer was actually sick, and he was dealing with cancer, and we actually ended up losing him like right as the record was completed.
Oh my god!
Almost completed. It was like
almost, yeah.
Yeah.
It still needed to be like mixed and mastered and stuff. But like we had just got done recording with him, But so like it took us like almost like a year to record it because we had to,
yeah,
we all have different schedules, and then we had to give him time. He had to go do like chemo and stuff. And so some weekends he wouldn't be available. But yeah, I would say, I mean, that's like really the only difference of how we recorded, but we recorded both with Matt, with him.
Oh, so he did the first album as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, yeah, wow. And Zach, for you, like, were you able to help contribute to the writing process of the newest record, or were those songs kind of done too when you joined?
It was totally all of us. Garrett, like since we all live so far away, it's kind of hard like to get together and like hash stuff out. And also I had no way of getting demos to anyone because I just bought a computer a few months ago. So what would happen is like Garrett would lay down a very simple idea, and then when I went in to record it in the studio, I would just do my own thing with that basically. And we'd all work together to make it a little bit like flashier, I guess. So
sure. And was this all recorded prior to COVID and everything shutting down as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This album's been done for like over a year now. It's just been like a process to get it out.
Sure. So, how did that affect your guys? How did that affect your band? Like the pandemic and everything. Were you on tour or?
We were supposed to be touring, which sucks, and we had a lot of like festivals and like different opportunities lined up that all got scrapped. There's a bunch of stuff like we were supposed to play a festival with Hollywood Undead just back in September, and that got scrapped. Well, not scrapped, it's supposed to go on next year in like July or something, but that's given the circumstances of everything's back to normal at that point. But yeah, I mean, we definitely like it delayed the tour or the album a lot because we were kind of hoping that we'd be able to release this album and then like tour off of it. But we just been sitting on it for so long and we're like, man, we can't push this back anymore. Like we need to just drop it and hopefully something comes up and things go back to normal. So
sure.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Have you guys done any of the live stream things, or have you even been able to jam at all since?
I actually leave in a little bit to go prep for that. We're doing one this Saturday. So
oh, awesome.
Yep. Yeah, we just we spent a whole night working on it last night, and then we're gonna do the same thing here shortly. So
yep.
Very cool. That's exciting. And so this will be your guys' first live stream
ever. Yeah, it's been a learning experience to say the least.
Yeah,
right.
Full band.
It's a lot to it, man.
Full band and everything.
Yep.
Very cool. And what are you guys gonna do? The whole record, the new album? What's the plan?
We're mixing it up.
Yeah, we're doing like half new stuff, half old stuff.
Nice.
So
yeah,
that's
very cool.
Pretty evenly split.
Nice. Well, thank you guys so much for chatting with me today. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Yeah,
not a problem, man. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
we don't do much nowadays.
Have you been writing a lot with like during during all this?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
not really. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Oh, yeah.
sure. I've been writing some demos finally since I got this computer, and Antonio's always writing between his solo rap stuff and the bands. So
That's
Yeah.
rad. Nice. Do you got some
Yes, sir.
Funko Pops behind you? Is that what that is?
oh yeah, man, those are all Simpsons. I have like probably like 50 more somewhere, but I just moved to a smaller place, so they're all in boxes.
Dude, we have a
But
million of them in my house too. I don't know. There's some up
oh
there,
hell yeah,
but not a lot. The
Hey.
other wall on the other
those are all
side has a lot
Simpsons here.
more. Yeah, all right. We have like different ones up there. That's like those are like the music ones, like Blink and
Sure,
Weird
yeah.
Al and Britney Spears and stuff. But
I'm a huge Simpsons fan, as you can see there.
oh, that's dope.
So yeah, I'm all about it. So
Right on, guys. Again, well,
Yeah.
I have one more question. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Antonio's good with that.
Am I though?
You're a lot better than me. such an
Advice for
inspiring
inspiring
dude.
artists. Yeah, I would say, honestly, I would say just get started. Record, like write, just start writing. I mean, I guess you gotta write before you record, but like, just like don't make any excuses. Just get to it. Cause like I know a lot of people like, I feel like waste their time or they think, oh, blah blah blah, I gotta. But then you'll be on Call of Duty like me. Like playing video games or whatever. But like, I mean, that time could be spent like with into your craft or what, you know what I'm saying, something that could possibly benefit you a lot in the future. Or I mean, honestly, just have fun with it. That's probably the biggest thing. Just write what you feel, record it, see what happens, listen to it, let some people listen to it. If they dig it, then put it online and let everybody listen to it. You know what I mean? Matter of fact,
Yeah.
skip the middle part. Just put it online.
But yeah. I think a big thing is like just not to be scared of what other people think, is because like
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
Post Malone's one of the biggest artists right now, and his like what got him signed was a song that every one of his friends said sucked, and then he put it online and woke up the next day to getting signed. So
Yeah.
like you never
Like,
know what'll happen.
do you
so-
like it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you never. I mean, and
right?
also there's a market for anything. Like,
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like as long as enough people hear it, then like it'll take off.
Yep, for
Yeah.
sure.
Bringing it backward.